Don't worry, Mr. Graham. You don't have to carry the heavy load or just read off a piece of paper. I'm back to manage this one for you, stud.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. It was very interesting to listen to two guys who did not even look at a single highlight or any score lines last week talk about the EFL.
Very busy in my world.
Yeah, very busy in everybody's world, you know? That's just how it goes. Start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston. Sam Houston? Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right NBA, the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of the Lord. Let's trade in shorts. Sam Graham, hey. Sam Graham.
I'd rather just miss the post than completely miss the fucking goal 3 times last week. Hello and welcome to DU Does EFL, a completely biased brief recap of the English Football League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me in full pone, y'all can't see it, some of you can, my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing, sir?
Not as well rested as you are after a week off doing fuck all.
Yeah, exactly. Just having COVID and fucking laying in bed and dying. But hey,
Laying in bed and not dying because you're here. Actually,
not all of us can sire 4 ladies. That's just how it goes. It just won't.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm so goddamn busy and I can't be bothered with the peasantry of the football league.
And of course, on the ones and twos, somebody can always be bothered because she's just fabulous. Producer Mel.
Hello, Sammy.
How are you?
Hey, can she? She's got pajamas on.
Yeah, no, I definitely came to work in my pajamas. I was like, oh, we're doing this from Zoom. Yeah, I can't be bothered either.
The least I can do considering I gave you COVID.
At least I got the Flexoid Malort to make you feel better.
We're recorded at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, streaming live every single Monday night, with the exception of tonight, because we're just recording. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
I'll tell them that after I tell them this. COVID is the most exciting thing you've gave her since you've known each other. It certainly isn't your penis.
I have given her 30 seconds of fury plenty of times. Thank you very much. How can people get in touch, Mr. Graham?
It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch by email if you would so desire.
We are drinking the exact same shit we drank in the last show.
Championship Corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh, no.
West Brom holds on to the top spot as they won, but so did everybody else for the most part. Sunderland and Sheffield both got wins. Burnley beat Pompey right at the death, and it was like the worst kind of goal. It was one of those ones that just barely dribbled into the back of the net.
I heard about this, yeah.
Everybody is just tree chunked looking at it going, I should stop.
Oh, that's probably going in.
Probably.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like,
it was almost like ESR's goal against Newcastle, right?
Yeah,
where it was just
except for the keeper didn't even get his palm to it. It just barely.
Yeah, but no, it was just like blah, 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 as it went over the line. It's fucking it's so annoying.
This moved Burnley back up to 3rd, and Pompey, still looking for their first win, have fallen to 23rd. Leeds back in the playoff spot as they got themselves a win over Cardiff at the bottom of the twos at the bottom of the table. Interesting. Watford gets smacked by Norwich. So that's the only team that was in the playoff kind of picture early on that got knocked out and leapfrogged by Leeds. Quick look at the leading goal scorers in the league. We're just going to kind of keep championship real simple today. Josh Maha for the Baggies is on 6. Duncan Watmore from Millwall, who they had started kind of slowly and now are comfortably mid-table, is on 5. And there are 3 different players on 4 goals, but the most notable is someone who was in the Prem last year. Gustavo Hammer for double Blades is sitting on 4 goals.
All right, well, there is a little to unpack here. First off, for Pompey, I'm sure at this early stage of a 6,000 game season, that first win will bring them up to about the playoff spots. If I'm not mistaken, after so many draws this
like
season.
12th place is on 8 points and Pompey's on 3, so it's not far to get away.
They're going to be climbing the table soon, I would reckon. Leeds being back in the playoff spots is where Leeds seems to live. We're just going to leave that kind of where it is. Cardiff being so far down is a bit sad. Watford getting smacked by Norwich is interesting because Norwich don't tend to really smack anyone. It's Norwich. They're just kind of the Fulham of the Midlands.
I was going to say they're the ham sandwich of football.
Yeah,
it's a ham sandwich. It's fine. It's
regular,
great, but it's a ham sandwich.
And then also Duncan Watmore is the name of somebody who is in an American production of a British sitcom.
Okay, very good.
It just has that name. We need a British name. Duncan Whitmore is the name I'd come up with.
Do not disagree with that at all.
Pretty decent. And then Gustavo Hammer having goals. Well, it's the fucking hammer. What do you expect?
Exactly. Laying down the hammer, boys and girls. League One, it sees Wrexham still on top with Birmingham, who actually beat Wrexham last Monday 3-1, which I'm sure in the Battle of American Owners, when we watch Welcome to Wrexham next year, Ryan and Rob will be bitching and moaning about how they lost to Tom Brady. I'm sure that'll be the case.
Yeah, but with all the Peaky Blinders situation surrounding, I think they should just get Cillian Murphy to CEO of the club, to be honest.
And Barnsley, Charlton, Huddersfield, and Lincoln are rounding off the playoff spots currently. Now, what we would do is normally talk about kind of the rest of this league, but we're really not going to. What we're going to do is we're going to spend some time talking about Reading, who actually got smacked by Bolton 5-2 this past week. Now, we've touched on their off the field issues before, but we do have a listener, a Naptown Blues supporter, a fellow whiskey fan, and most importantly, a very big Reading supporter, Colin, sent us an email to talk all about the takeover woes. Mr. Graham, take it away.
Yeah, so I have this email here pulled up, and I will make one criticism about the email itself. Number one, way too long.
I asked for this. I did tell him about 3 to 4 paragraphs.
Well, it's 9.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing is he started the email here with FYI, for your information. And both you and I, Sam, have worked for my company at one point or another. And the amount of FYI emails I delete a day, I simply just wanted to delete this out of the inbox because of the FYI.
Mr. Graham, we're trying to grow listeners on this show. So
I'm just saying, listen, people want an insight, as to the host of this show. We've become kind of popular, is all I'm saying. FYI is not the way to win a
people to give us emails about other clubs. You're not helping the cause right now. Let's read the email, Mr. Graham, okay? Let's help the cause here, buddy.
Saying FYI is not the way to get me to pay attention. Recent failed Reading FC takeover is what we're talking about. So Mr. Colin gets in touch saying this, and very graciously, I do appreciate the email. Several weeks ago, it was announced on the DU Football Show that Reading FC was in the middle of a takeover by Rob Cohig and partners. Unfortunately, on September 17th, rumors began circling that the takeover had fallen through as the exclusivity period ended on the 18th. On the morning of the 18th, it became clear that the deal from Cohig and Co. had in fact fallen through even after the approval of the EFL. It's rumored the paperwork was signed by the EFL and Cohig's party, but current owner, Sam, would you like to pronounce his name?
Dai Young.
Dai Young is how you pronounce it. It's spelled Dia Younge, but it is pronounced apparently Dai Young. But current owner Dai Young failed and or refused to sign the paperwork. This is kind of the old transfer window shutting fax machine broke situation, it seems like.
This is some Mike Ashley bullshit right here.
For real. But we read on. During the last several months of exclusivity, Mr. Coig and his partners could be seen in town at the local supporters pubs and around the club, interacting with the staff, team, and fans. Even at the transfer deadline, Mr. Coig was seen at the club trying to bring in 3 players for the club. This gave the belief to many Reading fans and Mr. Coig that the deal had been reached, and it was only a matter of EFL approval plus time before the deal was announced. Mr. Coig and partners had contributed more than £5 million, or 6.625 million US dollars, doll hairs, during their time of exclusivity, which the club stated they have been repaid for on September 18th, to no one's belief, Colin writes. This has only raised more questions from fans as Dai Young, now spelled differently, has failed to meet coach, player, and staff salaries in the past. That is a staple among clubs that are about to fail. To be honest with you, that is my 2 cents, not anyone else's. Currently, the club is running on the money made from Olise's transfer to Bayern Munich.
The buy-on clause, because they sold to Palace and Palace on, and then they get a kickback for that second sale.
Correct. Which is speculated to be around £3.6 million, which isn't a ton of money, to be fair.
But it's also, this is what normally pays the bills for lower league teams, is this sell-on clause. So we're going to sell a young talent to the Prem, and when that player goes someplace bigger, that payday literally pays our bills for a year, or at least in theory.
Editorially, the club is so fucked that, Colin continues, is likely to only see the club out till Christmas.
Yeah.
That's not a great sign. Since the announcement of the failed takeover on September 18th by both the Supporters Trust at Reading, STAR, interesting acronym for them, and Sell Before We Die, in the owner's
See what
name.
they did there.
That's clever. I like that. I actually drove past a clothing restoration shop today called Clothes Call. I like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's
That's pretty good.
Nothing bunt cakes, but it's pretty good.
I like it. Sell Before We Die. Have thanked Mr. Coig and his partners for their efforts, money, time, support. Hey, thanks for the dough, big guy. Appreciate it. The 2 groups plan for action at the next home game against Huddersfield on the 28th, but have not announced their intentions at this time. Reading manager Ruben Sellis stated his frustrations with the takeover at a pre-match press conference on the 19th of September. Quote, "I'm not someone who likes to quit, but I do need to reflect on where this club is heading. I have a fantastic group of players and staff who keep fighting, but it feels like we're stuck in a cycle. It's exhausting."
That is not
End quote.
Good. Not good at all. And here's the thing. It's starting to feel like Dai Young is doing exactly what Ashley did, except for he wants to walk away with no debt, right? So he's going, the deal's done, the deal's done, the deal's done. Oh, wait, it doesn't clear all my bills. The deal's not done. Try to give me more. And the other group went, fuck yourself. Like, no, we're not going.
Well, but right. And therein lies the problem, right? I mean, you're purchasing a company that is ridden with debt. So that is worth less money than a company that is not ridden with debt.
Yeah.
The prospects, said company, do provide a bit of obviously a lot of, the projected income presents a lot of value. But this is, I wanted, you didn't want me to read the bottom half of this email necessarily. There is one point I do.
Yeah, we want to just touch on the points of it
that he said, and Colin says to us, The Elise transfer money, along with several other players transferred out, is not even enough money to cover what is owed to Coig, as well as the players' salaries, which total around $5 million for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even include the facilities, the coaching, the staff, and all the costs. As he said in the beginning of the email, in the facts-based portion, was the 3.6 million. Well, if you have expenditures of 5 million, 1.6. If I'm buying something, it's coming off the bottom fucking line, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're not getting that money. That's why would I pay you that money, then have to pay that money again?
Exact same thing just happened at Everton. It broke today that the Roma group that was originally had backed out is now offered a proposal, and Mashiri has taken it. You know what they did? They came back with a lesser proposal. They're going to cover all the bills, but they ain't giving Mashiri that much money, and Mashiri's taking it. It's now going before Premier League approval, which you have to imagine they're going to accept. And in this instance, Da Young is legitimately what is going to happen is when it hits the transfer window, he is going to sell every fucking asset he has simply to try to cover his debts. And then he'll sell the team and he'll walk away. Not before he probably fucking puts this team into administration first. Because it's clear he's not going to take care of the club's best interests. He is only going to take care of his own best interest. And that's very clear in the way you see that he's managing the money currently. And for Ruben Celis, I don't blame him. Like, if you don't think you're going to get paid and you don't think you're going to your players are going to get paid, why fucking stay? Why fucking stay, Sam?
Yeah. So I just pulled up Da Young's Wikipedia. So this could be hit or miss, to be honest. But in terms of business, Dai is currently the executive chairman of Rene Commercial Holdings Company Limited. It's no Shelby company, is it?
Mm-hmm.
A listed investment holding company which specializes. This is very niche, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready. Which specializes in the operation of shopping centers transformed from air raid shelters. The family-owned firm opened its first shopping center in 1992, and by 2016 had 23 malls. A year later, the company had centers in 30 cities across China. His sister and business partner was once one of the richest women in the world with an estimated fortune of 1.2 billion. In 2017, she stepped back from this business, and her controlling stake in Rene was transferred to her brother as a free gift. So he lost her fortune.
Mm-hmm.
This company stock.
Mm-hmm.
But turning air raid shelters into malls seems like a very niche thing to do.
Well, and as we all know, Sam, shopping malls are doing very well right now. You know,
fantastic.
The bedworth of any good financial system in the city is the mall. Of course, everybody goes to the mall. The mall is where everybody buys their goods. Certainly not online anymore.
About 35 years ago, you'd be right. But here's their football interest. The siblings' interest in football is reported to have begun in the early 2000s when the sister died. Gili, Xiuli. Gili, as best I know, I again apologize. Lived in England. She lived in England and watched Chinese defender Sun Jihai play for Manchester City. In 2007, they acquired Chinese club Shangzi Barong Chanba, relocating to Guizhou in 2012, and then Beijing in 2016. So they've even moved their own clubs that they bought around city to city after watching Manchester City just rape everyone with money. And then decided, we could just uproot a club and take it wherever we want to take it. No problem. The club later folded, having previously competed in China League One. So it just doesn't. They launched an attempt of 130 million pounds to take over Hull City. They were unsuccessful with that bid. Rene, the company that the brother that Dai Young owns, bought 75% of the shares in Reading. After that, it just seems they also own a bit of a piece of some Belgian club that I can't pronounce.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing just smacks of sister seems rich, like properly rich.
Right.
Brother
plays rich on TV.
Seems like Elon Musk without the access to his own stock.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just kind of wrapping it up here. It's terrible. And this is
a storied old club.
Very storied fucking club. And while they haven't had a rich history in the top flight, they've been a team that's kind of always been in the championship and always been kind of that top half of all the clubs of England, right? One of the better off clubs. And to see them in League One right now, they barely survived last year. They seem to have gotten it together. And it looked like at the start of this year, they made some buys. They were going to be in a good place. And no takeover is going to decimate this team. And I can't help but think this team's going to be in League Two next year. I mean, things could really fall apart for them, especially if they liquidate all of their assets and very sellable players in the January transfer. You got to be honestly scared for them.
100% am scared for them. They've won the second division or the championship twice, 05, 06, and 2011, 2012. They've won the third division a few times, as well as finishing runners up. They've won the fourth division. Interestingly, this I did not know. There was some football being played during World War II. Mm-hmm. It was not under the guise of the FA, though. They won the London War Cup in 1941.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
That's interesting. But this team has been around since 1871.
Well,
it's a storied old team. You're absolutely right about that. And for, not to be xenophobic about anything, I'm obviously not British either. I mean, I'm just an observer in this, in a league that I'm interested in, a country that I'm interested in. To watch foreign investment over be great for your club, shit for your club.
Yeah.
This is one of those instances where it's absolutely dog shit. QPR has been through something recently with a few of their owners. Portsmouth, obviously, with their owners that actually got liquidated and relegated. Because of it. Rangers got liquidated because of it. It's not that foreign investment isn't welcome. Like I said, I'm not trying to be xenophobic about it. But do the foreigners understand the institution that is a football club?
Right. You are a steward. You are the steward of the club. And for all the...
Yeah, make the money off of it.
For all the hate we give to, people give to the, the Hollywood actors owning Wrexham, they get it. They fucking get it. They get what they are. They get who they are. And they get that the club and that city is much bigger than they are. And they
also look at the other big five leagues in Europe. Look at France, look at Holland, look at Italy, look at Spain. Look at Germany. These clubs have been around for fucking ages. They are institutions in their community. We don't see it from Arsenal here. They're a global brand. Those players are in hospitals every week visiting kids.
Yep.
They have classrooms set up for children. They have academies across the world to train kids to try to find the next best player or whatever, or help these players achieve what they want to achieve. They have grassroots initiatives that we don't see as foreigners to the UK, right? Even at Arsenal. Everton, you've had much more access than I've got with my guys.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And y'all have been in the top flight, 8 years less than us?
Yeah.
Consecutively. You know what I'm saying? Like, you haven't been relegated in fucking ages. Same. You're a massive, massive club. Villa, Mel had more access than I got, and she's only been involved for about 9 months properly. You know what I mean? Like when they came over last summer. So you look at these clubs; they really do have a community that is. Look at what happened with Bury when they folded.
Yeah,
3 seasons ago, whatever it was. That's real people without jobs now.
Yeah, and people in that city
don't
were
have a place to
remortgaging their
go.
houses to try to give money to the club to keep it alive.
That's some people that use that volunteerism, cutting tickets as a tax write-off that
Yeah.
now don't have that tax
Yeah.
write-off anymore
Right.
for volunteering for these institutions. A lot of countries, like you look at the attendance of a third or second, even a second tier team in Spain or Germany or Italy, it blows them out of the fucking water.
Yeah. Yeah.
In terms of attendance, television, everything. The UK pyramid is the envy of European and world football because you will get 8,000 supporters at a 4th division game.
Yeah, exactly.
That happens on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah.
And for these foreign investors to come in, try to buy a team, try to do something to make a couple quid off them. Fine, fair enough. Okay, you're the ones with the money. We don't get any say in it, so go ahead, do your thing. But for them to risk actual livelihood of the club itself, sustainability of the club itself, to pile debt onto these clubs and to hurt
100 years old, by the way.
Hurt these communities more than that. 100, almost 50. What did I say? 1871 they were founded.
Yeah.
Almost 150, actually over 150 years old at this stage. Absolutely absurd.
Yep.
All I gotta say, build that fucking wall. You know what I mean?
Saturday. All right, finally.
JK. But I am dead serious about that. That is kind of rough.
Thank you very, very much, Colin, for sending that in. And hopefully you can just send us updates about the team and how they're playing and not this bullshit. And hopefully this gets resolved soon. I truly, truly hope for that because this club, no club deserves it, but this club especially doesn't fucking deserve this.
No, absolutely not. And I do want to touch on the last thing he said, his very last sentence. If we know anyone with $50 million burning a hole in their pocket, send them his way. If we knew that, we wouldn't be doing this. So
yeah, we'd already
sorry, bud. Yeah, we'd be on a yacht somewhere in our skivvies.
Finally, League Two, Aki got another draw at home against top half side Port Vale, which is good, but still sitting 23rd. Shrimps out for Morecambe have finally on the board. They were down 2-0. They got they came back and drew 2-2 today. So they are still at the very dead bottom. Now the problem though is the bulk of those bottom half teams, while Aki's on 3 points and Morecambe is on, we're just going to call him Morecambe. Shrimps out.
It is Morecambe.
It's Shrimps out, Morecambe. And all those teams, they're on 3 and 1 respectively. All the teams in front of them are on 6, 7, and 8 points. So both of those teams need to soon go on a run. They need to get a couple of wins to get themselves back in that discussion. One quick check-in on Liverpool's truly favorite club. Who's that, Mr. Graham?
Tranmere Rovers
are 2-2-2 and currently sitting in 16th place.
That's also, I did see one of my favorite memes from the weekend. I didn't mention on the main show because I wanted to save it for here. There is an update on Rodri's injury. I don't know if you've heard.
No, I have not.
For the start of the 24-25 League Two season, Rodri is expected to be healthy after the 130 charges are assessed by the independent panel, and Manchester City starts their season in League Two.
Very good.
So Tranmere will have to deal Rodri in the middle of the pitch, which could be troublesome for them.
You're not wrong, Mr. Graham. You're not wrong at all.
That was one of my favorite memes from the weekend.
So
I never want a player to get injured. I've never wished for a player to get injured, but I will fucking get in the bants surrounding that player's injury when it does happen.
So that's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, just, fuck the foreign money, man. Buy American, buy British, fucking close the borders. Do your thing. Saturday.
And Wimbledon, fix your pitch. It looks like a fucking golf course.
Oh my God, what is that? I'm glad you reminded me because I completely forgot. And I went on that immigration tangent.
It got so waterlogged.
That is
it's
terrible.
Into the ground, and it looks like it's got sand traps and curves. I mean, it looks worse than Newport County, which, by the way, Mr. Graham, if you didn't know, has hosted multiple monster truck rallies.
It's an absolute potato patch, that place.
Just insanity.
What is? I don't understand what was under the pitch. Inches down. That the pitch could sink that far?
That much. I know. It's just completely crazy. Completely
down
crazy.
There at Wimbledon. So Wimbledon is one of those kind of posh clubs.
Yep.
Oxford, like Cambridge. Like, are they part of the Skull and Bones Society? Is there some sort of Illuminati base underneath there?
That could be exactly what it is. It's a series of tunnels.
Like it one bit, and I think they're probably holding a couple of Catholic bishops hostage down there.
Hey, look, you've been to the
Coliseum. Tom Cruise on
the tunnels.
Tom Hanks. Get Tom Hanks on the case.
You've been to the Coliseum. You saw all the tunnels that were underneath the base ground of the Coliseum. It's the same thing at Wimbledon. That's exactly what it is. It's a series of tunnels, Mr. Graham.
Scary, man. Fucking again, close the borders. I don't know who's tunneling in from there, but they're doing it.
Final thought: if you are a lover of the lower leagues and you have a great passionate support for another club, do what Colin did. Send us an email. We'd love to spend the show talking about your club very specifically. So, Mr. Graham, how do people do that if they want to reach out to us?
If you want to join the cause, it's at the Football Show on all social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email to # close the border.
Excellent.
I don't know why this turned into such a xenophobic thing, but it did, and I'm rolling with it. I don't believe those things. I just think it's funny.
It's just
take the piss out of things with irony and satire.
Next up is Injury Time, where we're going to go ahead and preview the weekend's action, talk about the beers we've been drinking, and, of course, check in on our fantasy teams. Mr. Graham, should somebody want to look into our extra content, how do they go about doing it?
You also want more satire, because that does happen there as well. It is patreon.com/DFootballShow. Just sign up to that one sweet, beautiful, easy, huge $5 tier. And you get all the extra content, everything that you could ever possibly want. Most of the time it has kind of videos and stuff with us. But oftentimes it's just us doing more #bants and previewing some shit, which is great.
Excellent. Till next week, everybody.
Good night. What the fuck?
Graham went dark.